In today's video, we are going to be talking about what could possibly be the best update to come to Age of Empires Mobile, and you're definitely not going to want to miss it. We're going to give you the top 5 things that you should be paying attention to. All right, so we are just going in deep. We are going to be talking about update 1.0.101 coming to Age of Empires Mobile. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It has some of the most requested updates, some that it's still missing, and other exciting things that are coming that we may have already seen in the past. And so I'm kind of excited to kind of talk about it. Make sure if y'all want to continue the conversation, leave us in the comments down below or hop in the Discord and let's chat about it. But top 5 things from this update that the patch notes that you need to pay attention to. And first and foremost, thank Jesus, coming in at number 1, the newest feature, Alliance Diplomacy. After the feature launches, governors can visit the Alliance interface and tap settings. This was already available if you are in an Alliance, but the second part was the actual W update that they bring up. Allied members cannot attack each other, and skills and provided area buffs or debuffs or deals damage won't affect friendly Alliance members. We did it. We did it, team. We did it. Now we don't need to have a bunch of civil wars about some random person getting smashed while gathering on a tile as some other player is doing a caravan event. All you got to do is lock in those ally alliances, and now all your buffs, debuffs, all those things, AoEs aren't going to absolutely thrash your allies that you're in kingdoms with. The only question that we are going to ask the CMs is, it does say it is disabled in certain game modes. I really want to see if they'll elaborate on what specific game modes it is. I have a feeling that it's like Wonder Contest and Battle of Dawn and that kind of stuff, because technically you need to be able to hit them in those game modes, because the matchmaking will match you against other alliances inside of your own kingdom. But I'm really hoping that it is not locked to any sort of PvP mode like is in KVK. And then the other question I have, and I'm hoping we can get an answer to this one, and if I do, then I will put it in our Discord, is will this apply to other alliances outside of your current kingdom? That's something that is not noted in here that I am extremely interested by, to find out if we do end up doing future KVKs and that kind of stuff for Desolate Desert, those kinds of deals, and we do have allies, if we can add those other alliances into the fold so that we aren't friendly firing each other and doing that kind of stuff. So that's an amazing start to the patch notes. That is by far the biggest W that I've seen on an update note in a very, very long time. And then we're gonna go down to point number 3 in here. And it's gonna be talking about a brand new mode that is coming to Age of Empires Mobile called Radiant Sea. I am gonna show y'all some images after we read this. These images, I will note, are not official images, so do not go and say they are official. They are not, but our community members are a part of the other Voldemort game that cannot be mentioned. But I am going to show y'all some images, because I have a feeling, I'm like 95% sure this is what we are going to be seeing. And so I thought I would share it with y'all. And then if y'all are interested in it, just reach out to us or leave us a comment down below. Oh, I forgot to preface, all these update notes are going to be coming to specific servers. Actually, correct. Oh yeah, it'll be coming to specific servers. It's all based on where your server's at, placement wise. I believe you already need to be past the final stages of Home Kingdom, going into Season of Conquest, for all these events to start firing up. But yeah, we are going to be talking about the Radiant Sea. Set sail, trade opportunities await, open new oceanic trade routes, and it is a sea event, right? The big question that I keep getting asked is, Boba, are boats coming to Aoem? And I will tell you this. I don't officially know, but I can tell you that this kind of steers me in the direction of sooner than later. And so there are multiple boat events inside of these patch notes. I don't want to go through each and every one of them. I know y'all know how to read and do that kind of stuff, so I don't want to read it verbatim. But what I did want to show y'all is, if you come over here into our CN section, this is what I was talking about, right? And like I said, I preface these are not official AOEM global images. These are from the Voldemort game that shall not be mentioned, but it's to show y'all some things that I'm pretty confident, but don't hold me to that. These are not official. So we are going to start dipping into here. It talks about trade routes, doing all that kind of stuff. And then we kind of dip into other things. If you do speak Chinese and you want to, decrypt all this stuff, by all means, we are going to be looking at other things, building ships. This image itself may not be in the event. I will preface that. This does regard into boats and doing other mechanics and stuff like that. But you can see that we do have the path, and this was a larger version of the previous image that was up here, right here. So you can start to see that there are other aspects to it, and being able to do all that. So there are exciting things coming to AOEM. Boats by far, I think, is probably one of the most hyped things coming to Age of Empires Mobile that most people are extremely excited for. If you haven't seen those kinds of deals, it is very exciting. The combat looks very engaging, and who doesn't like being on a boat? Come on now. Somebody cue the Boats and Hoes song. Boats and Hoes. And then we start working our way down the list. From there, it starts getting into optimizations. And this is number 3, 4, and 5 of probably the top things that you should be paying attention to. And there are configurations. I know they go into specific configurations over Battle of Dawn. I personally didn't see any issues with Battle of Dawn. I saw more issues with Wonder Contest personally than Battle of Dawn. I feel like Battle of Dawn can be preset, and it's pretty easy just to click and click, right? The Wonder inconvenience is very inconvenient, where I'm having to bring all my marches back to then select them, to then send them, to then that is the inconvenient part, not Battle of Dawn. So, and then there were a lot of Apex things coming in, which, to each their own, that kind of deal. But here's one of the biggest ones, and we're going to go down to optimize the Allies relocate feature across different maps. This is one of the biggest complaints that I've had, and I know a lot of the community members have had, where we've had issues when we're relocating into MEE or GEE or anything like that we constantly, and y'all seen it on the streams, you get popped errors when you're moving into different zones on different maps and all that kind of stuff. And so it appears that they have optimized that and fine-tuned it and fixed it. When relocating the coordinates on another map, you can now transition between maps seamlessly, which is nice. The other thing that I will say is, of course, if you're buying bulk, we always gotta touch on that for number 4. No more having, and I get this from a lot of my spenders in the community. They hate having to click 1, click 2, click, and they're clicking non-stop, right? One of the goated old updates was when they added additional spins onto the wheel, so that if you wanted to do more than 5, you could do 10 and then 50 and that kind of stuff. Just saved players a lot of time. They've effectively done that on purchasing as well, so you can get up to 100 done at one time for the single transactions, which is, thank you. Time savers are always huge. And then I would say number 5, right, is kind of a combo one to me. I'm a huge nerd with numbers, and so coming into the final point of updating power calculations for the Mightiest Troop feature includes buff the buff effects on certain castle facilities, I find to be good. I will say this. More and more kingdoms aren't really putting in their best troop because there's no incentive for really doing it. So a lot of the Kragans don't really put their best foot forward, I guess you would say, in that sense, because they don't want to give away what their marches are. So it's kind of a give and take. I do like that you can see a majority of it if you're trying to see how well you stack up in your kingdom. But I can see the other side of the coin where a lot of people aren't necessarily doing it. And then might be one of the more controversial points. I personally like it, but I know that it's controversial in certain areas of the world just because, and we can kind of, I don't want to dive too far into it. But some of these games sometimes fall into the loophole of where they're classified as gambling. In certain countries like Netherlands and all of those classify some of these things as gambling. So it will be interesting to see. I know that other games do this as well. Rise of Kingdoms, we have a bet system as well for Osiris League matches. So it will be interesting to kind of see how this point number 5 comes through. With the new play style, the Apex Championship, it is going to allow us players to compete, but also the community, the availability of betting on winners to win potential currency and then get rewards and claim rewards and do stuff like that. So I always personally like that kind of stuff. It doesn't necessarily get into the ways that you will be able to earn the currency, or if you're going to have to just straight up buy the currency to bet. But hopefully in the coming days and weeks, we'll learn more about it, and then we'll kind of touch on that and notify y'all on all that kind of stuff. If y'all did enjoy the video, do me a huge favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next one.